You're listening to North Georgia Business Radio, coming to you from the Business Incubator at Brunel University. I'm Bo Henderson, and you're listening to North Georgia Business RadioX, the one place that talks about business. It's all business and the people behind the businesses in our community. And one of the things I wanted to bring up today at the top of the show is I'm getting really excited about football season. It's just around the corner. And I wanted to know, Dr. Bill Lampton, what are some ideas? I'm looking for how does business apply to everything? So what are some lessons maybe we can learn from football or sports in general that apply to business?
Well, before we get into that, I'll mention that your football playing career lasted considerably longer than mine. You played defensive end at University of Georgia for 3 years. I taught there. I watched games, but I never got to play. In fact, Bo, in 7th grade, I was so proud. When I stepped on the scales, I was playing right tackle, and I got up to 100 pounds.
Made it to the 100-pound mark.
I said, watch out, world.
I think that happened to me in 3rd grade.
I thought it was at birth.
Well, let's talk about that. So teamwork, sports, football. What are some lessons? So the obvious one we can tackle is teamwork right off the bat.
Yes, and you know, many coaches will say there's no I in the word team. And there's a famous story I remember about Newt Rockne, who was such a great coach at Notre Dame, had an incredible record there. And Newt Rockne had one player who just thought he was such a hot shot, and he'd read all the publicity about himself and so on. And one day at practice, Newt Rockne told the defensive practice team, he told the blocking team, he said, don't block for this guy on the next play. And so they did not, and naturally the guy had probably 8 or 9 people piling on him. And the player got up and looked over at Coach Newt Rockne, and Newt Rockne said, hey, let your headlines do the blocking for you.
There you go. I like that. So that brings me to another idea is that we got to have the right people on the right seats on the bus. That's the key I've seen take a business from a plateau to the next level. Because think about it with the football. Julio Jones might be a great receiver, but if you had 11 people, if you had him 11 times on the team, it's not really going to work well because he might not do really good at that left tackle position, so to speak.
That's an illustration that I've used a number of times. I say, suppose you went to a football game and you looked down there pregame and everybody was wearing number 7 and they were all throwing passes. It wouldn't work. You've got to have the blockers, the receivers, the defensive players, the kickers, the punters. You have to have a variety of talents. And so any one person in business who thinks that he or she can do it all, they're going to find out soon they're going to have a losing season and possibly a losing career.
And everybody doing their job, and I see that too, if I know that you're going to do your job here on the show, Bill, I can trust that, right? And we can trust each other, and we can hopefully get a win, which of course we're going to do today, right? Well, let's talk about, so teamwork's one thing, but let's talk about the importance of a good culture on a team.
Yes. What day do we not pick up the newspaper or read on the internet, catch some kind of headlines where one or more players have gotten in trouble with the law, they're being dismissed from the team, they're on probation or whatever, and that just kills the morale not only of the team but of the fans as well.
Well, I think that's so important because you can see there's been examples recently of very talented teams that should be good teams, but with a bad culture it seems to fall apart, which leads me to the next idea, and that's leadership in business and on teams.
How many times have you seen a mediocre team get the right coach and become superlative?
Yep, that's the key. When you don't have to have superstars on your team even if you have the right leadership and everybody owning their part of the teamwork. Speaking of great businesses, great business owners working together well, having an impact locally, we have a couple of great businesses to talk to today, Bill. Why don't you bring in our first guest?
Fine, I'm happy to because I've known him a long time and really respect the contribution he makes to his profession and to the community. Don Adams, Premier Branded Specialties. Hi, Don. Welcome.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you for the introduction. Bo, it's good to be with you.
Hey, I'm glad to have you.
Well, give us an overview of the services that your company provides, please, Don.
Well, Bill, we're a promotional products and a apparel printing and screen printing service. We like to say that we brand businesses to help them promote themselves into the world using promotional products. We don't want to just, sell promotional products and sell the apparel. We want to help each of the people that we come in contact with learn how to use promotional products. So to do that, we want to, interview you as our customer, our client, and figure out what the promotional product would be that would work for you.
Well, that brings up a question, Don, is this idea of, so it's great to maybe have our brand or our name on things, but what's some of the strategy behind it about, hey, maybe specifically I need this specific kind of thing, or how do we really start having that conversation about, hey, what's really going to help my business?
Well, asking what your target client is would be a good way to start, because your target client versus somebody else's business is a completely different client. Things that we might do for an elementary school, we couldn't do for a high school, or a high school backwards. The age differences are different. The clients are different. So we want to find out about you and your target client. Like a lot of times people say, I want pens. Well, why do you want pens? What are you going to do with them? I'm going to write with them. Well, maybe your target client isn't somebody that's going to use a pen. So maybe you're not in the right game. A lot of times customers will come to us and they'll say, what's the best promotional product? Well, let's find out. Are you dealing with corporate folks that are in front on a desk all day? If you're in front of those kinds of people, maybe something that you leave behind on a desk would be great. A clock. Some of the tech gadgets that are coming out now where you can charge your phone on a pad, those are great to hand out. We can do lampshades. We can do just about anything with your business logo on it, including an embroidered shirt, hat, jacket, blankets. So there's all kinds of promotional items out there. And one thing I like to say is, the items that you leave behind in front of a client are a direct reflection of you, and they remind your client of who you are, because we all have different clients and we have to be in front of them all day. So the things that I leave behind remind that customer of you. Never forget a customer and never let them forget you. So
great advice.
One of the things that it seems to me you and your father were almost forecasters and fortune tellers in is the naming of the company, Premier Branded Specialties. Why? Because almost every book you read about marketing, promotion, communication, sales, it talks about establishing your brand, whether you're an individual or whether you're a company. So I see you as a company with a lot of foresight.
Oh, we definitely are. And, one of the things that we like to say is don't change your brand. Don't change who you are. What brought you to the ball game is who you are and what you did to get there. So, like the restaurants, you'll see them changing and adding 5 hamburger patties. You don't have to add 5 hamburger patties to make a great restaurant. Do what brought you to the dance is the good burger.
Well, I think a good example of that would be, I don't know, what was it, 25 or 30 years ago when Coca-Cola decided that they would change the original Coke brand. And they came up with a substitute, which I remember tasting, but not very often. It was quite bitter, had no resemblance to the original Coca-Cola. They found out that the customers demanded that they go back to the original, which had gotten them where they were. As you say, that's what's the old saying? You got to dance with who brung you.
Dance with who brung you.
Well, so say we're here at the Business RadioX studio. We have a very distinct logo. So how would you take that and maybe put that on a promotional product?
We would get our graphic designer involved. A lot of things that I can say to you would be, or one of the best things is your call to action. Is don't just put your logo on a product. Put your phone number on a product. Put your website on a product. Put your email on a product. Those are the things that when a customer grabs your items, they're going to see those things. If I had just have your name and your logo, which we can put that on anything, but if I don't have a call to action, your email, your phone number, your website, some way to get in contact with you, then I have to look it up. If I have to look it up, I might not get you. We see that with a lot of bigger corporations is they'll put out maybe the name of an insurance company, and there's 100 agents that work for that company. How do I get to Bo, or how do I get to Dr. Bill? If I have to look it up, I'm not going to get to you. I'm going to get to one of their other agents. I want to buy this product with my money, and I want that person to call me because I put my number and my call to action on that. That's the most important thing you can do. And Bill, you brought up Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, one thing that they've never changed is the color red. You can't copy it. You can't find it anywhere. They don't give you the recipe. They do that for a reason, because that's their color red.
Well, one of the things that I was thinking about, Don, as you were talking, is this idea. You talked about maybe doing things for corporations or doing things. And in this show, really, we talk to a lot of people, from the person that has a good idea to start a business to some of these big corporations here in Hall County in North Georgia. So is there any niche, or is there any size too small or any company too big for really what you do?
There's not a company that's too small. 10 small is equal to big, so we're willing to take on just about anything. With that said, as most of the time when you get into hard goods like your pens, maybe some mugs or keychains, they'll have some industry minimums. 250, 300 is not out of the ballpark. When we get into apparel, we have really strict minimums of one. Now, promotional products and apparel, the more you purchase at one time, the better the product and the price becomes to you. So that's where we can really help you out. One thing that we found when we started was, if you came to me and said, Don, I want to do one shirt or two shirts, we didn't have that ability. We had the ability to do 50 and plus. So one thing that we've made the investment in is an embroidery machine in-house, so that we can do one shirt in-house, two shirts in-house. And what we found is, when you need the 50 shirts or the 100 shirts, we still get that order. But now I'm able to do something smaller for you that maybe some other shops aren't doing for you.
Well, I know we've already talked about this in the promotional items game. The answer is, what is the best thing is it depends, right? It depends on your objectives and your target. But I'm sure it shifts and changes over time. Are there any kind of popular things you're seeing, just some examples of promotional items that are kind of the big things right now?
Oh, there's all kinds of things. Even the pen has gone to a stylus. Even the pen has gone to a pen with a stylus to a flashlight. Some of them have tape measures on them. We have one pen that's new that has a 3-sided promotion. It's in the shape of a triangle. That's a really neat, pen. But a pen is just part of your good, better, best promotion. So start with some pens. They're a good basic product, and then find a good product, which is, maybe a mug or a keychain or something a little bit better, and then something that's even better than that. If you look around, everybody around you today has a smartphone. Any kind of gift that goes on a smartphone, on the back of the phone, when they pick it up in the restaurant, they're showing it off. When they pick it up at home, they're showing it off. When they go to a family reunion, they're showing it off. Guess whose name they're in front of? Yours. So tech gifts are a really popular promotion. Mouse pads haven't died. Mouse pads are still very popular. And one thing that we can do on that is we can put not only your name and your phone number, again, your call to action, but I can list the services that you provide. So when I take that and give it to a hospital or a business, I can look down and say, oh, Bo does that. I need to call Bo.
Very good.
Well, and the good thing about that's something they're going to see many times a day.
Many times a day. Think about how many times you look at your watch. If I did a watch as a promotional item for you, you would look at that watch many times a day.
Getting back to your comment about people making a mistake by not putting their contact information, their phone number, their email, their website, whatever. One of my coaches, technology coaches, taught me that when you produce a video and you put it on YouTube, which I've been doing for a number of years now, in the title itself that runs above it, put your phone number.
Put your phone number on anything you can put it on.
Mm-hmm.
If you put it on a T-shirt and you're walking through the gas station buying a candy bar and some gas, and somebody sees your name, oh, you do promotional products, and there's your phone number, they'll call you while you're standing in front of them in the store, not knowing that it's you that they're getting.
Well, it's it's a little bit different, but Bill, we met by me finding a card at Poor Richard's probably, 10, 11 years ago, and I happened to call him. So it's just
my business card was on a bulletin board there.
Right. Having his information available, that's how we've met and done shows, and a great relationship for years. So you just never know by being visible and being available.
Before we started, you said, what did you do before this? I worked for Hi-Fi Buys and doing some audio video work. We went in and pre-wired houses, meaning we ran the phone, the power, the cable, and all the stuff for the homes. We didn't go in and trim out the stuff. The builder says the homeowner can do that when they buy the house. So what I did is I made little stickers and magnets that went in each of the cans. So for the security system, we put just a sticker in there with our name on it. And customers would call us and directly say, this house was pre-wired by you. Why don't you come put the gear in? So not only did we get the pre-wire from it, but we got the end customer.
Well, a question that comes up, Don, for me is we talked about you and your dad starting this business, and how many years ago was it?
He's been in it since 1994.
Okay.
I joined him in 2010, so almost 10 years.
So anytime I see longevity in a business in our community, I always want to know any tips or maybe principles that have led to the success and longevity of the business, really.
Well, one thing is we're not sitting still. You mentioned websites earlier. Just like everybody else out there, we've sunk a lot of money into our website. Our website is a user-friendly tool now. In the past, it might not have been a user-friendly tool where you can say, I want to look at shirts. You can go into our website and type shirts, and it'll pull up all of the shirts that we can grab. Might not have all the decoration on it that you want to put on your shirt, but that's where we want to be one-on-one still. I don't want to be locked into the computer and the website. I still want my folks to call me. I want that one-on-one, that hand-holding. That's part of what brought us to the dance and got us there. And again, I don't want to lose that part.
And isn't it funny? It always seems when we talk to a company that's been around a long time, it always circles back to a relationship, right? Being successful at creating and maintaining relationships. Well, Don, thanks so much for joining us on the show. For somebody out there and say, hey, you know what? Maybe I need to look in this. Maybe I need to create a plan or look into a strategy for some promotional items. What's the best way to get in touch with you?
Oh, you can call me on the phone. Our office line is 855-550-5890. Our website is premierbranded.net. And call us, email us, send a flare, the bat signal. We'll answer anything. We want to be personal and be there for you.
Yeah, and Don will answer the phone. I called today and said, hey, I have an opening. He's right over here.
Absolutely. And we're happy he came.
Very good. Well, let's talk to another guest. And around town, you might have seen William Ferguson at Green Ford for a lot of years, and more recently, even that story, I'll tell you, William's been with Sun Realty Group, doing real estate more recently, but he even helped me get a truck this past year, even though he wasn't working there at all. We just had a conversation, and he helped point me in the right direction. But William, great to have you on the show today.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me. If there's one thing I have learned about Georgia football and business in Gainesville, Georgia, is that during a Georgia game, you close, or you're going to waste your power bill because nobody's coming. Nobody's doing anything but watching Georgia.
Yeah, unless you want to have a big screen and have a viewing of the game, maybe. You might
Correct.
Get a couple people
But
in.
I've even tried that, like in my car business days, and everybody would come watch the game, but nobody's buying cars. So it's...
There you go. Well, William, so what is it, just to get going, what do people really need to know about Sun Realty Group?
Well, basically, it's just like what Don had said. As far as we're a localized, a very locally targeted company that focuses on customer service here in this area. We specialize in the areas of business we do by our local expertise. Basically, I say expertise. Local luck is, in my case, of just knowing different people, being able to, knowing the little individual niche areas of Hall County, knowing the different markets in those areas, and being able to help people with their specific needs. So it's we're very, very heavily on customer relations, which I feel like in any business is 99% of it. You get a great product or you get a great service, and you treat your customers like they're kings, and that's what we try to focus on. We try to be there for them and care about what they want. Not necessarily, we want, as far as we want what's best for all our clients. And
well, one of the things that's come up, William, is I've seen your post on Facebook, and I've been following when you post a new listing. It seems like you're running across a lot of unique properties. How do you go about finding those? Is that just relationships?
It's just relationships with people we know in this area. There's a lot of different unique properties here in Hall County. Everything from horse farms to gold mines to dry cleaners to car dealerships. And as far as we try to work with them all, we as far as have a big residential base that we do a lot of houses in this area, and this area, like you know, is growing by leaps and bounds. So it's but we just kind of try to take care of it. But basically, these listings come to us by people we know. So just in this area that try to know, and we've tried to build their trust.
Looking at your career in car sales and management, and looking at what you do in real estate, it seems to me that...
Scared where this is going. So go ahead.
Yeah. Seems to me that a 9-to-5 job would not have suited you.
No, it would not. It would not. It probably would have suited, as far as I'm not really... I'm hard to pin down as far as that goes. But no, I've always enjoyed being able to get out, and I've always taken the... felt like, the business, you need to be there when it's... when you need to be there for your clients, and it just it's 9-to-5 job never really worked for me.
Well, in both of those professions, and really in any profession involving sales, networking is important. What are your keys and skills in networking?
I was really blessed, and I don't know if there's any keys and skills, anything that I started as far as I worked in the service department years and years ago. As far as we worked on a lot of the businesses here, worked on a lot of their work trucks. And I got to know a lot of these guys locally just from the time I was, straight out of high school, out of college. Got to, really, when you're working on these guys' trucks, that's their main tool. And so, I got to know them. A lot of these guys have gone out, opened their own businesses here in town, which we are able to sell them fleets of vehicles. And now, as far as just, I would say about, 50 to 60% of all my clients are people that I've done business with in the car business. And it's just like I always told my sales guys, it's very, very easy to make it in the car business. Just be honest. And I think that's in any line of work. There's a lot of people out there that it's just like what Don says, building your name is everything. So,
well, one thing I was going to say is it's obvious William's very shy.
Yes, very introverted.
No, but he's got a natural way of making friends, and that's another key I see is
I bribe him.
If you're making enough friends out there, and if you're just naturally good at that, good things happen, and you can kind of accomplish anything you want to.
They will. It's just try to be there for everybody, and it's and Bo, you're the best at it, I know, as far as getting out there, talking to everybody, and you've got a great personality, and it really, that's, people want to be around people like that, period. And it's, it's not necessarily what you're saying, it's how you're saying it, and it's just, if you're out there, even when I'm out telling somebody bad news, at least I tell everybody I'm lucky I'm not a doctor. I don't have to tell anybody that they're that they're gonna die. But it's just being honest and being right there with them.
And I think that's a great point. I think a lot of times people avoid bad news, and you just brought up a great point.
Truth only hurts once. Yeah, it's a.
Somebody really wants this property, it falls through, but your
right.
Your philosophy is let's just be upfront and
right, exactly. It's not, as far as I know, we just put your property on the market for $350, and we've got an offer here for $120. Not one I want to take, but guess what? It's not always. It's just like what my uncles used to always tell me: the truth only hurts once. So
that's a great saying.
Get it over with and go on. So,
getting back to your networking and. This brings me to the point of referrals. It's yes. Much better to have somebody else say something good about you than you saying it about yourself.
Even if you're paying them.
Yes. I remember when I first entered my career as a communication consultant, I was attending a conference. There was a wonderful lady there who was talking about publicity and public relations and so on. And she said, picture this. Suppose you walk by a restaurant and there's a guy out front. Name of the restaurant is Joe's. The sign out front says, Eat at Joe's. This guy's walking by carrying the sign. Mm-hmm. And you might be a little bit impressed until you find out his name is Joe. You want somebody else carrying your sign. And that's one of the values of the internet, that we can get colleagues, we can get referrals, we can get people saying good things about our service on LinkedIn and other places. That within the last 22 to 23 years has been something that made our promotional work considerably easier.
Mm-hmm. It has. As far as social media has done wonders, as far as especially to to the local smaller businesses. We actually have I have two ladies that help me full time, and that's all they do is social media marketing. Just because it's funny, I'm at the ripe young age of 48, but every time something goes wrong with my computer or my phone, I have to ask my kids how to fix it. So it's they are so much more. This millennial generation is so much more tech savvy than even we are. As much as they try to stay up, but it's so there's so many groups and so many diversified small areas within just our local social media marketing that we have to target all of these individual ones. It's Facebook is now where that we can even break down and do a reverse. We'll get a house in for sale. We will do a reverse marketing on it. It's basically like where we'll take that house and say, okay, I'll sit down with my guy. Okay, who's going to buy this house? It's going to be a young family. They're going to have kids. They're going to do, this. Okay, so that's what we're going to target. So you get on Facebook and you can break it down to all these different small things, and you do a minimal promotion with them, and it goes directly to those That's my Lumpkin County English, to these small, to these small groups, and you get, you get that targeted market that's looking for that specific property, whether it be a lake property, whether it be a commercial building, and it's amazing what all it'll do now. So,
and it allows us to so much of media and marketing was shotgun in the past.
True.
Now
and you
get
just
in front of that person.
Right. You can. It's the difference between shooting a pistol and shooting a shotgun. It's just like what you said. It used to be we'd go, all right, let's take $10,000 and just blast it out there. Now it's let's take $100 and let's shoot it right at the person that that needs to be hit. So,
qualified.
Exactly.
Well, question that's come up for me, and I'm thinking through this. So let's be real. There's hundreds and hundreds of real estate agents.
Oh yeah.
Every which way we go. So for the listener out there that has an event, to need one, what would you tell somebody is a good thing, or what do you need? What are some qualification or maybe some good questions, or what's the difference? Are all real estate agents the same, or are there good ones and bad ones? Maybe what's a few ideas there?
I tell you one thing we're lucky about here in Hall County. It's something that, and I cut my teeth here in Hall County years ago, is 15, 16 years ago when I got my license. And we do have a lot of great real estate agents here in Hall County. So as far as what puts you above another one, it's customer service. Can you pick up the phone? Can you call that person? Number one complaint still with the Georgia Real Estate Commission, it has been for 5-6 years back, is real estate agent won't answer their telephone. So, which to me is amazing, and we do get busy, and we've been blessed. We've been here busy, but pick up the phone, call back. But it's customer service, and I will meet with people. As far as we've been really, really blessed the last few years, we've been real busy, but if you meet with that person, and it's happened to me, believe it or not, and you meet with somebody and you just don't click with them, that's you want to work in a relationship with this person. So if you don't feel it's right, it's probably not. So right. And I've even had to say that from the client end. I'm not your from you trying to hire me that end. I mean, we're going to work together on trying to sell your house. If it's not a good fit right now, you need to try to find someone else that will, because it might be a better fit. But see.
Well, two factors there. One, you can be dealing with a considerable amount of money from this person you're talking with.
True.
And secondly, you're going to be seeing each other a lot.
Right. Exactly. And everybody always, it's funny that, the first question in everybody's mouth is, all right, how much commission are you charging to do this? And I always tell everybody the same thing. I'm going to tell you exactly how much I'm going to make if I don't sell your house. So right. Look at the numbers as far as, I tell everybody when you're interviewing an agent, look at the comparables they've shown you. Look at the number of listings they've sold in the area that you're trying to sell it there. But look at the comparables they are showing you to compare your house to, because you know your house better than anybody. Is that something that looks like my house that they're comparing it to? Or, as far as, are you trying to tell me my house is worth $20,000 because, the single wide down the street just sold for $20,000, but my 3-story right here with a dock should bring a little bit more, but it's a lot of that's just, common sense, because you do know your house. And typically, like I said, in Hall County, I've worked with so many of these agents here. I've co-op deals with probably, 99% of all the agents that have been in the business here more than 5 years. So we've got some great people here in Hall County, and they're going, most of them are going to steer you straight, and I work with all of them. So,
well, I think there's something to be said for experience, and being connected and being around the community, because, like it or not, that helps sometimes making the connection to getting the property sold.
Oh yeah,
knowing who to touch base, knowing how to connect that. Well, speaking of that, William, if somebody's listening out there again with an event, are you looking more for somebody trying to sell, somebody looking for something to buy?
Oh, we're looking for all of it. We really are. We always are. We're as far as each individual person has an individual need, whether it's to buy something, whether it's to sell something. If there's something maybe you want to invest in real estate. We work with a lot of investors right now. Are you trying to get what rate of return are you trying to get on your money? Are you looking for single rental? Are you looking for something, multifamily? Are you looking for, we're working with a lot of builders now coming in the market. What do you want to build? What price point do you want to stay in? We can go through absorption rates to show you how much inventory is on the market in those areas, just to fine tune that person in. But at the end of the day, we just give us a call. I'd love to sit down and talk to you on the phone, either way. And just, tell me what your real estate need is. We'll try to help you any way we can, no matter what that.
And it's almost like Don was saying, is let me know what you're looking for, and we'll help you
create a plan. Right, it's exactly what Don was saying. That's exactly right. Mm-hmm.
Very good. Well, somebody out there listening says, hey, this William guy sounds pretty friendly and knows a lot of people. How can they get in touch with you, or maybe have that conversation about, hey, let's maybe do a strategy session?
Well, I didn't put my information on the post office picture, so you don't have to worry about getting it there.
Can't find it.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it's my phone number is 678-925-8375. And we've got our main website, sunrealtyga.com. You can reach me at william@sunrealtyga.com. But pick up the phone, call me anytime. I've got a little office here in Gainesville. You're welcome to stop by, grab a cup of coffee, and talk just anytime. So,
right. William, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate
Georgia
it. Thanks,
Business Radio X. Had a lot of fun. William Ferguson with Sun Realty Group. Don Adams with Premier Branded Strategies. I've been here with my favorite co-host, Dr. Bill Lampton. Great show today. And we'll be back next week, same time, same place, right here on North Georgia Business Radio.